The parents of this newborn baby were over the moon when they welcomed their little miracle into this world. She was beautiful, with her dainty hands and feet wiggling around in the air. Their fairy tale family dream finally seemed to be a reality. But when her mother held her and the little girl opened her eyes, her mother saw this bizarre detail. Newborn opens eyes for the first time, then her mother sees this bizarre detail. In the quiet, suburban town of Shelton, where white picket fences and blossom-filled trees were abundant, lived the high school sweethearts, Anna and Ben. Their story was one that had been told countless times, a story that local folks swore by when they spoke about true love. Anna, with her sparkling blue eyes and auburn hair, was the town's cherished elementary school teacher. Ben, a carpenter with a reputation that stretched across the county lines, was known for his strong work ethic and affable personality. The high school sweethearts had shared countless dreams together, dreams of adventure and success, dreams of making a difference in their small town. But their most cherished dream was a dream of starting their own family. Anna and Ben's love story began at the heart of Shelton High. A shared desk in the back of Mrs. Finkelstein's math class became the foundation of their love. An innocent, stolen glance led to shared smiles, followed by whispered confessions of teenage love. Their love blossomed in the corridors, under the shady trees, and during the quiet, starry nights at the outskirts of the town. After graduating from high school, the pair decided to further their studies on the same college campus. The sprawling, green campus became their second home, where they shared laughter, learned life's hardest lessons, and cemented their love. After college, their heartstrings pulled them back to their quaint hometown. They wanted their future to unfold where their past was rooted. Upon their return, Ben took over his father's carpentry business. He built and mended, crafting beautiful pieces that adorned many homes in Shelton. Anna, on the other hand, embraced her love for children and teaching, finding joy in nurturing young minds at elementary school. Every day she would come home with stories of her pupils. Their antics, their achievements, filling their home with anticipation for their own children. Their love, vibrant as the sun, led to a beautiful, warm summer wedding. Underneath the arch of daisies and sunflowers, Anna and Ben promised a lifetime of togetherness. Their vows echoed the promise of a beautiful future, a future with a family of their own. As newlyweds, they began trying to fulfill their dream. The once quiet house filled with laughter and anticipation. The two of them brimming with hope for a new addition to their family. And then, after months of trying, their dream came true. 2 blue lines on the pregnancy test, a symbol of their love manifested into life. Their joy was unparalleled. The promise of a new life, their very own child, was overwhelming. They began to prepare for the newest addition to their family, unaware of the bizarre adventure that lay ahead of them. This is where the first part of our tale ends, a tale of love, dreams, and anticipation. What happens next, the mysterious journey of the newborn and the bizarre detail that surprised them all, will unfold in the chapter below. The story of Anna and Ben has just begun, and it promises to be an enchanting one. The ultrasound appointments were like private screenings of the most awaited movie of their life. Each visit brought new excitement as they saw their little bundle of joy wiggling around on the screen, growing healthier and bigger. The doctor's office, filled with sterile smells and cold machines, was transformed into a magical place, showing them a glimpse of their tiny miracle. Anna would squeeze Ben's hand as they saw the heartbeat, each beat echoing the rhythm of their own hearts. Ben, in turn, found himself marveling at the strength of Anna, who was going through all the changes and discomforts with grace and a smile. As the pregnancy advanced, the couple started readying their home for their newest member. They painted the nursery in soft pastel colors, with murals of teddy bears, moons, and stars. Anna, though, was always insistent that Ben also include some carpentry elements, wanting to instill in their child a love for their father's craft from the start. Together, they would daydream about the nursery, every stroke of the paintbrush a stroke of love for their baby. Being a carpenter, Ben decided to build the baby furniture himself. It was his passion project, something he could offer to his child. With the finesse of a skilled craftsman, he built a crib, sturdy yet delicate, designed with intricate carvings of woodland animals. Anna would often watch him from the door, her heart swelling with love for this man who was already such a wonderful father. Seeing him so engaged in creating something so personal for their child filled her with an indescribable joy. Anna's friends, all thrilled about the baby, organized a series of baby showers. Their small-town community rallied around them, showering them with gifts, advice, and blessings. Anna, radiant with the glow of motherhood, accepted everything with grace and a warm smile. Ben was always by her side, a picture of proud and protective fatherhood. They felt blessed, not just for the baby, but also for the love and support they received from their community. Their parents were all involved and offered to help out when they needed. It was then and there that they knew they had made the right decision on moving back to their hometown. The final day came sooner than they had expected. Anna was in the middle of school when her water broke. It was about 3 weeks before her due date. She was already on maternity leave. But she was just there to pick up a few things when it happened. She couldn't believe it. It was time and she had to go now. She called her husband Ben, who was working a job at the moment. When he heard the news, he immediately dropped all his gear, almost hitting his coworker with a hammer that he let fall from his hand while standing on a ladder. He rushed to his car and drove as fast as he could to the school to pick up his pregnant wife. "It's happening, it's finally happening," he shouted. He couldn't believe it. He was so ready to be a dad. Anna was picked up and they quickly gathered the stuff they needed for their baby's arrival at home. And then it was off to the delivery clinic. The town's small clinic was a buzz of activity. Anna, though in pain, was calm and determined, ready to bring their child into the world. As they entered, they clung onto each other, filled with a mixture of anxiety and joy. And there, in the midst of all the chaos, Anna was ready to meet her little girl for the first time. But little did they know that there was a surprise awaiting them, a surprise that would change their lives forever. Because this little bundle of joy would surprise them with a very unique secret that would be revealed at the moment her mother held her for the first time. Anna was whisked away into the labor room, her grip on Ben's hand getting tighter as the contractions became more frequent. Her face flushed with the labor pain, she was taken in by the medical staff who tried to make her as comfortable as possible. Nurses and doctors, women who had helped bring countless little miracles into the world, filled the room. As the labor progressed, Anna drew strength from deep within her, a strength she hadn't known she possessed. The pain was intense, but every time she thought she couldn't bear it any longer, she would think of the little person she was bringing into the world, her little girl. The delivery room was a flurry of action, but Anna was the calm at the center of the storm. However, the delivery process was not as smooth as they had imagined. The baby was not positioned correctly, and it required a lot of effort on the part of the medical staff to correct this. Dr. Kelly, the seasoned obstetrician, gave Anna some instructions. A strange mixture of pain, fear, and determination reflected in Anna's eyes as she nodded, clenching Ben's hand. Ben, on the other hand, was a bundle of nerves. He watched helplessly as his wife suffered, wishing he could take the pain away. Despite the reassurances from Dr. Kelly and the nurses, his anxiety was clear on his face. He was ushered out of the room when things became too overwhelming, and he paced the hallway outside, praying fervently for a safe delivery. Ben, meanwhile, was pacing nervously outside the labor room. The minutes turned into hours, and his nerves were afraid not. He wanted to be in there with Anna, to hold her hand, to support her, to be with her at every step. But the doctors had asked him to wait outside due to complications with the baby's position, and he just had to accept that. The wait was agonizing. Time seemed to be crawling as he imagined the pain Anna must be going through. He found solace in a small wooden toy he was carving for their baby, a simple rabbit. As he waited, his carving grew more detailed, the soft whittling sound soothing his frayed nerves. Hours passed, and every second felt like an eternity. Every time the door opened, Ben looked up with hope, only to be met with the sight of another nurse passing by. He could hear muffled sounds of conversation, the intermittent beeping of machines, and Anna's soft cries of pain. His heart ached for her. Inside the labor room, Anna was giving it her all. Each contraction was a testament to her strength. The baby was not positioned right, causing Anna considerable pain. But she bore it all bravely, determined to bring her little girl into the world. The nurses and doctors around her were busy, each performing their roles with precision. Then, suddenly, a sharp cry echoed from the delivery room, piercing the stillness of the hallway. Ben froze, his heart pounding in his chest. It was the sweetest sound he had ever heard. The sound of new life, the sound of their daughter. He rushed into the delivery room, his eyes wide and tear-filled. His baby girl was already in the arms of a nurse who was wiping her clean. Anna, with her face flushed and her hair sticking to her forehead, was in tears too, a mixture of relief and love. When the nurse handed their baby to Anna, Ben fell to his knees, overwhelmed by the sight of his wife and daughter together. The nurse carefully placed the little bundle in Anna's arms, the baby's sharp cries subsiding as she felt her mother's touch. Ben watched, his heart filled with an overwhelming love. Anna looked down at their daughter, tears rolling down her cheeks. The baby opened her eyes, and Anna gasped softly. That was when she saw this baby's secret for the first time. And it left the new mother in shock. The baby opened her eyes, and what Anna saw took her breath away. The little one's eyes were a bright, piercing violet. A color of eyes Anna had never seen before, except in fantasy novels or movies. They were mesmerizing, reflecting the lights of the delivery room and twinkling like tiny amethyst stars. Anna looked up at Ben, who was equally stunned. "She has your eyes," she murmured, the reality still not sinking in. Ben chuckled softly, shaking his head in disbelief. "I don't think either of us has purple eyes, darling," he said, tears of joy brimming in his eyes. Anna was speechless, her gaze still fixed on the baby's eyes. The room fell silent for a moment, everyone stunned by the baby's unique trait. One of the nurses called Dr. Kelly in. The doctor, a woman of vast experience and knowledge, had delivered hundreds of babies in her career. Yet, as she looked at this newborn baby girl, she was in disbelief. The baby's eyes were a shade she had never seen before, a beautiful and strange anomaly. Dr. Kelly gently examined the baby, her fingers deft and her eyes soft. Despite her initial surprise, Dr. Kelly assured Anna and Ben that the unusual eye color did not seem to be a sign of any health concern. "I've seen newborns with unique traits," she said, "but this is indeed rare. Your daughter's eyes are perfectly healthy, just a unique shade. She's a special little girl." Anna and Ben felt a surge of gratitude and pride. Their daughter was not only the manifestation of their love, but also a little wonder of nature. They looked at each other, their smiles wide and eyes glistening with tears of joy. They were parents now, parents to a beautiful and unique child. The exhaustion and anxiety of the past few hours seemed to vanish, replaced by an overwhelming sense of love and responsibility. The news of the baby's birth spread quickly in the small clinic. Doctors, nurses, and other patients congratulated Anna and Ben, their faces beaming with joy. Everyone wanted to see the newborn with the unique violet eyes. Anna and Ben, still getting used to their newfound parenthood, took it all in stride, their hearts swelling with pride for their little girl. After a few days of observation and countless visitors, it was time for Anna and Ben to take their baby home. Their car was filled with flowers and gifts, the back seat carefully prepared with a baby seat. They strapped in their precious little bundle, glancing at her in the rearview mirror. They could not help but marvel at her over and over, her tiny hands waving in the air and her violet eyes looking at the world with innocent curiosity. "Her eyes are so beautiful," they kept repeating. As they drove through the familiar streets of Shelton, everything seemed different yet the same. The town they had grown up in, the town where they had fallen in love, and the town where they had built their life together had now become the town where they had started their family. Every corner held a memory, every brick echoed their laughter, and now, every part of it was a part of their daughter's life story too. Anna and Ben arrived at their home, holding their sleeping baby close. As they walked into the house, it felt different, more like a home than ever before. The house, once filled with their dreams and aspirations, was now filled with the soft cooing of a baby, the gentle rustling of baby clothes, and an undeniable aura of love and warmth. That moment was 4 years ago. They waved as they sent their daughter off to elementary school for the first time last week. It pained their hearts, but they knew they couldn't keep those beautiful eyes all to themselves forever. She was going to mesmerize the world. And that part she had to do on her own. They felt lucky to have her. Their purple-hazed fairy tale princess.